thou that sleepest, arise from the dead.
Read the Bible, you'll find out that God's not too happy with what's going on around us.
Redeem the time, because the days are evil.
The Bible has not changed.
Boldly proclaim the restoration and preservation of Christian values in America.
Satan has brainwashed a whole nation.
As goes the church, so goes the nation.
Nobody's convicted of anything anymore.
And now, here's Last Call with your host, B.J. Edwards.
Morning, morning, morning. Hope you're all doing well. Let me take care of some. Yeah, I got it. Gonna remove that. And welcome to Last Call. Technical difficulties. We always seem to have to fight those, and there's always something new. So yes, nothing but like a challenge. Folks, we're fighting in the streets with our children at our feet. And the morals that they worship will be gone. And the man who spurred us on sit in judgment. All wrong. Sit in judgment, all wrong. They decide, and the shotgun sings the song. I tip my hat to the new Constitution. Take a bow to the new revolution. Smile and grin at the change all around. Pick up my guitar and play just like yesterday. Then I get on my knees and pray we don't get fooled again.
I think we're always fooled.
Yeah. Hey, you're about to listen to 2 hours of opinion and entertainment supplied by Last Call Radio. We're not doctors, lawyers, politicians, although we do have a lawyer in our own. Anyway, politicians, professional journalists, nor do either of us hold a doctorate degree in anything. We're talking about myself and Mr. Anderson. Not that that would make any difference in this day and age. Our opinion, of course. We only ask that you as an individual or corporately not take our statements or those that we voice from others personal, nor do we recommend that you act on them as they are facts, although they might very well be just that, facts. But again, that's our opinion. You're not required to listen to, act on, or repeat anything that you hear today, and that any information or opinion we present is meant for the good of the order and by no means intended to harm or threaten anyone. Good morning, Mr. Anderson. If we can bring you in.
Good morning. I'm here.
Yeah, I got you mic'd up.
Yeah, look at the screen. I'm here.
Yes, you are.
I got the other computer working. It's been a battle.
Do you think I need to turn the phone off then?
I think so.
Okay, let's try that. And give it a shot. Are you still with us?
I'm still here.
Yeah, good. Ouchi Fauci.
Oh, my goodness.
Hours and hours and hours. I guess the number is 111, 111 times. He pleaded the fifth. Now, folks, you got to understand something, that he has been exonerated from any sins that he's committed in his lifetime up to now in the federal landscape, not in the state landscape. So if I have that, even if I had that, and you start asking me questions, I'm not going to respond, because a state could take that information and use it against me. Keep that in mind. Folks, we're 3 months away from a midterm election. And by the way, 111 times, at some point, if you're a Republican and you're asking him questions, instead of asking him a question, just make a statement. Thanks for wasting our time, Mr. Fauci. We were hoping you could be more honest with us. We're not going to ask you any more questions about what you did and the harm you did to Americans during an era of COVID that people are still suffering from, and go on into that area and then shut up and say, thank you, Mr. Fauci. Hopefully we'll speak with you soon and end the day. Quit wasting your time. You have
and our taxpayer money.
Amen.
I can't even imagine the cost of this.
Yeah.
Meantime, we've
It's
got to build another bomb.
our increased property taxes for most schools. It's folks with these are opportunities. Keep that in mind. These are opportunities. And in the second hour, we're going to give you an opportunity. Are you frustrated with when you talk to your opponents? When you talk to the donkeys and they don't listen to you? When you whisper in their ear and they're still not listening to you? There are ways, good ways of handling that situation. Some time ago, I talked about B.J. Edwards' positive approach. My approach is don't attack the opposition's idea. Come up with a better solution on the same subject and try to talk about that. The Socratic method takes it maybe a step or two further. But you know that if you bring the subject up, that individual is going to completely get back on their heels, glued in and ready to attack. And we're going to tell you how to diffuse that. And it's worked. I've done it on several occasions. And it does work. Do I practice it all the time? No, I'm not. I don't have a doctorate in the Socratic method, but it is important. Will Fauci ever be put in prison? Let me save you some time, some money, and some effort. No. Think about the people ahead of him that committed all kinds of crimes, high crimes and misdemeanors. Where are they today? Other than celebrating their millions. Folks, America is an unjust and immoral nation. Thanks to our public education, big pharma, big business sometimes, crooked politicians, and that's not likely to change short of the second coming. Pain's a great teacher. But I still think if we work hard enough at it and are dedicated enough and in the word and in righteousness, God offers us an out, a solution. But we have to take it and we have to have faith in it. There's a Bible study this week. And we're talking about the Bible and how useful it is. And the Bible guides us through life. You get away from some of the principles in the Bible and you get in trouble.
That's the manual we ought to be following, first thing in the morning, the last thing at night. I don't know why people don't dig into that.
Man, why did they eat the apple? It's pride.
Yeah, I know, but we also know more. I mean, I could go on, but yeah, some of the things are obvious. Some things are not so obvious because of pride, I think.
Yeah. We've been given decision-making abilities. Wow. But I believe that one of the vehicle that is going to get us to where we need to get to is the family. That was the first
part of it, that's for sure.
It's the first institution that God created for the benefit of man. Why did he create the family? Why? Was he wasting his time? You have a father in heaven. If you don't have a family, what does that mean, father in heaven?
Well, he builds nations from families.
Yep. Families, tribes.
He started that, He started the families and he began to move these tribes around into different places. And if they did what he said, they did pretty good. If they didn't do well, then he would he would punish them in different ways.
A lot of that evidence is evidenced by the Book of Kings. When the Bible talks about the kings, when there's a good king, this happens. When there's a bad king, that happens. No. There are no kings in America, okay? Donald Trump is not a king. It is still we the people. we had a discussion about this. Yes, it is.
Is it?
Well, it can be. It can be.
I don't like what they're doing in our local schools. I've complained about it. Not me alone, but for example,
I have 10 years experience going to school board meetings. 10
Yeah.
years, a decade. Even ran for school board. Didn't make it. Didn't make it because I had different ideas than the teachers union. And folks, the teachers union runs the public schools. I don't care what you think, who your superintendent is, who your teachers are, who your counselors are. The teachers union, which has been infiltrated by the same thing that our nation's been infiltrated by, and that's the LGBT community. The LGBT community. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. DEI. These are indoctrination centers, folks. Public schools are indoctrination centers. You need to know that before you put your young child in them. They're there to teach children that life has no meaning, morals are relative. Man, not God, is the measure of all things. The state's your daddy. And of course, you're a victim. You'll always be a victim because of your skin color, of your nationality, of your religion. Doesn't make any difference. Pick a subject. Maybe you're shorter than everybody else. You're a victim. So you need somebody to come along. No self-reliance. You need somebody to come along and help you out. Absolutely amazing. I talked a little bit about the influence that the LGBT community is having on the unions. I have a suggestion for a lot of the Republicans, senators, representatives that are trying to run for Congress in November. There is a item out there, a tool that you can use. But you got to listen first. Not to the spirit of the age, but to the spirit in the Bible, to righteousness. Let's take a break and I'll get back into that. B.J. Edwards along with Mr. Anderson, your last call, justice for all. Ouchi Fauci. Woo! Are we in trouble?
Faith, discussion, and so much more. Last call with B.J. Edwards.
And we are back. In 2024, I did a search of LGBTQ holidays. Now, history, in 2021, I think the natural family idea came into existence. And in 2022, I addressed a local city with regards to asking them for a natural family month, which they poo-pooed. The only thing that did do, this is a positive, is keep them from celebrating Gay Pride Month. Speaking of gay pride and months, 2024, this is my research. January, Trans Prisoner Day of Action and Solidarity. February, they had a no name calling week there too. And these have been added to, folks. National Black, there you go. HIV and AIDS, we're going to connect it. HIV and AIDS Awareness Day, observed each year on February 7th. National Freedom Day. Chosen Family Day. Get an article here from what should be a Good Family Institute. And they're comparing the natural family to today's nuclear family, which is anything goes. Natural family being red and the whatever you want it to be being blue. I'm going to read it again. I read it 3 times. Still did get it, other than the fact that it was putting the red and the blue together. And the problem wasn't whether you were red or blue. The problem is over here. Look over here. Don't look at the blue. Look over here. That's the problem. Not good. Not good. Chosen Family Day. Bisexual Health Awareness Month. That's the month of March. Zero Discrimination Day. That's in March. Two-Spirit and Indigenous LGBTQ and Awareness of Celebration Day. Day of Silence in April. National Transgender HIV Testing Day. May, International Family Equality Day. Agenda Pride Day. Pansexual Panoramic Visibility Day. Harvey Milk Day. June, Gay Pride, of course. HIV Long-Term Survivors Day, June 5th. HIV Testing Day, June 27th. First use of the LGBTQ Pride Flag, June 25th. December, World AIDS Day. Pansexual Panoramic Pride Day. Trans Youth Day. The list goes on, and it has been increased. According to political sources in Ohio, Representative John Husted is in trouble. I'm sorry, Senator John Husted is in trouble. The suggestion I have for John Husted is what I suggested several weeks ago to other members of Congress, my senator, and that was to establish an American Heritage Month. What would happen if John Husted presented an American Heritage Month? What if he was pushing for that? That includes everybody in a United States. Officially celebrate the month of July as American Heritage Month. It would be a weekly celebration starting with our celebrating of independence in England, and the first week in July 4th, the focal point. Second week could be founders. Put John Husted. It's open. It's vanilla. You can put anything you want in there. Anything you want in there to attract voters to your campaign. American Heritage Month. You, Senator Husted, present it.
What trouble is he in?
He's 5 points down.
Oh, you mean in
the
polls?
Yep.
And this old guy that's been in there for, I don't know, 30 some years.
Sherrod, about as liberal as you can get. The only person I can really say that might be left of him is AOC. But they're still in the same room. And they're still parking together. James Bond, are you there? You're unmuted, brother.
He's bouncing around. Oh,
yeah. I'm bouncing around. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, good opening topic of Mr. Fauci, but to answer your question, he's not going to go to jail. And evaporated. That's just the way it's going to be.
Well, you're a lawyer, is that correct?
I'm a lawyer, but don't hold that against me.
But why is he never going to prison?
I don't know if he'd go to prison if there wasn't a pardon. I just don't know.
I agree with you.
The pardon protects him. It really does. There could be some state court things that might take place, but I doubt that too. He's part of the deep state, Jim, BJ. He's part of the deep state. They're untouchables.
We're always open for suggestions. Even if you're a lawyer, we're open for suggestions. What I mentioned about John Husted promoting a American Heritage Month. What do you think about that? Okay.
Oh, I'd like to know the definition of that. But hey, I'm getting ready to take my dog into my kennel, so let me give you guys a call back, okay?
Okay, brother. Appreciate your time.
Bye.
Appreciate your time. I think it would be one heck of an idea for him to do that. I really do. It's open, and see how Sherrod responds to that, and the press responds to that. As a matter of fact, he can be as vague as he wants to be. He can hint about wanting to do this and hinting about wanting to do that, as politicians do, and maybe look like he's leaning this way or look like he's leaning that way. I think it could get people to go, wait a minute. I didn't know this guy that well. I did not know him that well. We have experience, decades of experience with Sherrod. And like I said, he's just probably maybe a pinch right of AOC. Or maybe AOC is a pinch right of him. Folks, the opening we had today, same as the old boss. By the way, the boss should be the people. But because we're that Uber nation, because we're so doggone spoiled, we let everybody else make our decisions for us, decide what we're going to do, back off. You don't want to cause any trouble. You don't want to cause any trouble. Don't talk about sex, politics, or religion, right? In the family, in conversations, never talk about it. That's beautiful. Just close your eyes, ignore what's going on, and everything will be fine. Amen?
No, that doesn't work very well.
It hasn't, and it isn't. Yes, it sure isn't. I don't, Kevin, Mr. Anderson, I really do appreciate any kind of a push towards the Bible. But because of the indoctrination that's been going on in our society over the past few decades, again, I was at school board meetings. I saw it. I heard it. Probably ought to say I smelled it. Life has no meaning. Don't bring that. We took the 10 Commandments down, right? Right?
Yeah, and we put up Ramadan posters.
And gay flags.
Yeah.
Created a vacuum. And parents are going, well, that's okay. I have control of my child. I can deprogram them. Did you notice that your child now has a computer that they can hold in their hand now? That anybody can talk to your child? Well, I'll put a block on my child's phone. That's okay. They have friends. Oops. That have phones, and maybe parents that aren't on the same plane that you're on. What do you think? Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Here's where we are. This is just a touch of where we are. This is part of the headline that I always go through. Man killed wife, 6 kids, then himself, before all were found in a Michigan home fire. Minnesota handing out gender swapping dolls to 4-year-olds. There ought to be a riot over that issue alone. And in terms of AI and everything else that's going on, and the flock cameras, that they may be stalled, but they're already installed. So you can put a pause on them, but there is a play button as well. And they're ready to hit that play button. And I say that because it's all over the place. Likely on your current TV is doing some monitoring that you didn't necessarily approve. But how about your vehicle? What? Yeah. Bronco busted. I caught Ford headline. Sneaking my data and uncovered an even bigger threat. Last night, my Ford Bronco installed an automatic software update. Yeah, you have a computer on your car now. Mm-hmm. You have limited control of it.
Unless you drive the old classic cars.
Yeah. By the next morning, it had quietly opted me into sharing additional driving data without asking my permission. Fortunately, I caught the change before I headed out and turned it back off. But instead of simply being annoyed by another software update, I found myself asking, how did that get here? Flock camera. Now, flock cameras are those cameras you see on the street corner that keep going up, that can see miles away and record it accurately. Well, Your Honor, that wasn't necessarily my car. Well, young man, young lady, we got into your car's computer, and it confirms what the flock camera said. And under current law, if you're traveling along and the flock camera can read lips, and you're saying something negative on your phone, by the way, you're on your phone and you were driving, so there's one penalty you're going to have to pay right up front. And you were talking to somebody about how you were concerned about what was happening to morals in America, especially the LGBT community, if you will. Or we heard you say a racial slur. 1984. 1984, folks, is here. Brave New World is coming next. But you have to get rid of the family first. Got more headlines I'm going to read. Want to encourage you this morning. Well, I guess we're going to take a break unless Mr. Anderson has a comment or two.
Oh, well, I like the idea of family. I don't know
what family.
What's
a family? What's a family, Mr. Anderson?
It's natural. One man, one woman, and their natural and or adopted children.
Yep.
For a lifetime, you know. And if you bring up a godly family, which is the key in my book, not my book anymore, it's the Lord's book. You know, we follow that, we have security for eternity, but people don't want to go into that, do they?
You remember Charlie Kirk?
I do.
You know, as we take a break, I think Charlie Kirk had something to say about the family.
Well, I can play him on the break.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, let's do that and take a break. BJ Edwards along with Mr. Anderson. This is your last call. Wake. Almost said something there. Up. Wake it up. Now.
So the scriptures are very clear about this. Christianity has a heavy emphasis on honoring your parents. Mm-hmm. Now, to contrast that with the prior questioner, I don't think she's doing a good job of honoring her parents because she's accusing them of being in a cult.
Yeah.
This is very important, everybody. Even if your parents share values and views and a worldview that you do not have, you are biblically obligated to honor them, which means to spend time with them and to love on them and to go visit them. Even if they are wearing a Black Lives Matter and in this home that we have no hate and trans lives, you still go and spend time with your parents. Because if you are incapable, in this case, of honoring your earthly father, you will never honor your heavenly father. And it's very clear in the Ten Commandments, and then I'll get down to the specific advice. In the Ten Commandments, it is the only commandment, honor your mother and father so that you may live long in the land of which you are in. It is the only commandment that deals with a promise and your country. You will cease to have a strong country, America, if we do not have kids honoring their parents. Everyone out there, every day, you should call your parents on a weekly basis. I know college exists a lot of the times to separate children from the parents. They want to try to separate you from your upbringing. Your parents aren't cool, they don't understand you, they don't share your values. The closer that you stay with your parents, even though you have disagreements, the better you will be and your nation will be. Now to your personal advice.
Oh, are we back?
I I guess so. That break thing didn't work like it's supposed to. I'll try it one more time.
Keeping you informed. This is Last Call with BJ Edwards.
Modern technology.
Informing you about the family, right?
Say again, please.
I said, now we're informing you about the family, keeping you informed.
Yeah.
He makes an interesting comment there about honoring your parents. I would like to add something to what Charlie said. Is, a way to honor your parents is being the best person you can be, despite what your parents have flaws.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody does, right? That's not an excuse for not being good. It's the effort, you try to be good. And the idea of honoring your parents, and as BJ often says, a strong family makes a strong community, strong nation.
Mm-hmm.
This has been known through time, hasn't it? We see that in history.
Been proven through time. Yes. Yes. It's not a theory. It's a fact.
And you can believe it or not, like we say at our disclaimer, but
Well, you're going to experience it, whether you believe it or not. You're going to experience it. Bad. Not Ohio, the nation. I think 40% of children are born to single parents. That's child abuse, point blank, child abuse. And then you have probably a 50% divorce rate. That's questionable, but I mean, if you, I'm going to be at an event today, and there's going to be maybe 20, 30, 40 people there. And I can guarantee you that I could find at least one person there that's been divorced. Or is it 2 or 3? Or wait, I'm going, so it'll be at least 2, counting me. You understand what I'm saying? A child needs their biological mother and father. They're born. Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Anderson. They're born with that need. Go ahead, sir.
No, you said it, and I think that is a fact. It makes it a lot easier to have both parents raising the same kids.
Yep.
And again, kids honoring their parents. Oh wait, they took that off the wall in their schools, didn't they? That message that includes honoring your parents.
Yep.
And maybe that's a problem, because we don't express that to the children as they're growing up, that you need to honor your parents. Understanding how you do that, that's an important fact. That's something that needs to be taught. But I think that strong families. Well, what makes a strong family? We worship together, pray together. What is the old cliche? If a family prays together, stays together.
Mm-hmm.
Building those little building blocks and trying to keep things together in this decaying world.
You know why the natural family works? Is because natural law supports it. Natural laws spiritually and natural laws physically support it. When the heavens and the earth were created, the Creator also created natural laws that support the creation. Have you ever noticed that you as a human need oxygen? You ever noticed that? Or are you going to find it? Where are you going to find it? Yeah. Where are you going to find it? Wait a minute. It's already here. How did that happen? Oh, I know. It evolved. Oxygen evolved. Right? Wrong. A child, I said before, needs their biological mother and biological father. One male born that way, one female born that way. That's why we really push for the Natural Family Month. Can you imagine what this nation would be if we celebrated that? I don't see that. That's what I'm talking about. If I saw it, I'd play it. This is just, folks, it's so, I challenge you to find something in this current environment. Man on man, women on women. I mean, Joe's six pack knows this, folks. You don't have to go to church. You don't have to be a Christian to recognize natural laws, to recognize that a family is critical.
Well,
go ahead.
It's taken a long period of efforts of the opposition to break that down. So my concern is, what does it take to rebuild it? What I'm saying is, the enemy is, as the cliche says, well, we have an enemy out there, and that opposes God's law, God's ways, which includes natural laws.
Mm-hmm.
And we can name some. Karl Marx wrote a book, How to Break All of This Down. And how do we put these planks back together?
Where there's no vision, the people perish. So let's start there.
Okay.
And what better than the vision of the natural family? It's something that is personal to everyone you know. It means something to them. They're either going to have love or they're going to have hate. But it is personal, folks. Go to our prison systems. Talk to the prisoners. Ask them about their family life.
Yeah,
Bingo.
And they're in prison. So how do we fix that? What do we do?
That is a symptom, and you have to treat the symptoms. But if you're not inoculating, then you're going to start focusing on just treating the symptoms, and you're just going to get more symptoms, but you're never going to get to the ending of the problem, the cure. Folks, it's all over the place. Again, go to those outings, go to those family get-togethers, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Great events meant to strengthen the family, not separate it. I want to get into a few more headlines, and then we're going to get ready for our guest for the second hour. Let's see. Oh yeah, I love this.
We're
Go
going
ahead.
quick already.
Yep.
Wow.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead. You got your headlines.
No. You go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I think. Well, I just wanted. I have second thoughts about Charlie Kirk. I didn't know much about him, obviously, until it hit the news, and what that little clip that I just played, and what he was saying, what he was doing, I think is a step to what you're talking about, is planting the seed in young people who have not yet had families, but are in position to have one.
Yes.
And teaching the importance of a godly family and bringing that back into the culture through the young people. And he was reaching out to one of the largest groups you could reach is college campuses. And that movement, I don't know where it is now. It was interrupted, I think. But I think that is one of those ways to repair the planks I was talking about.
Yep.
We can't do it overnight. My family's already scattered. Your family is, well, you're doing a fair job keeping it together as much. But our families have grown. We're the old guys, but encouraging the young people and getting good teachers out there who present these ideas and values is important.
If you want to take the temperature of a nation, use the family as a thermometer. I think we're at about 103, going on 104, maybe headed to 105. We need to get it together, folks. We need to get it together. And the family is the key. And in the family, you have a vertical relationship. I know you're going to use a word for that, but don't. It's God, Jesus Christ, man, woman, children. That is a vertical relationship. And when you see the kids in the street expressing themselves, committing crimes, stealing, turning over cars, spitting on the police, you need to ask yourself one question. Where's mom and dad?
Yeah, whose kids are those?
Yeah.
Go get their dad. Go get their dad.
Yeah, because the father should be the authority in the family. Why do you need an authority in the family? Why not mutual? Well, because when you go into society, your child's going to say the same thing. Well, why do I need authority? It's all mutual, right? Respect for authority. Best place, best practice is in the family. I'm okay, you're okay. Oh boy, do I remember that. Now we have I'm okay, you're okay children and teachers and politicians are all equal level instead of that vertical level. We really, 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 really need to get back to that. Do we have time for a break, Mr. Anderson? I was going to get through some more headlines.
A quick one.
Okay, go for it. And we are back. I'll finish up a little bit on the headlines. I have this under schizophrenic. Trump ready for strong military action if Iran talks fail. Deja vu. Trump pauses Iran bombing campaign after military recommendations. Trump orders Pentagon to prepare a national draft in 3 weeks. How about some election madness? New Jersey admits there are thousands of illegal voters on the rolls. Deny, deny, deny. Hakeem Jeffries pivots from it's never happened to it's a minor challenge that illegal aliens vote. Elon Musk to unleash his political war chest to help Republicans win the midterms. I don't know whether you can spend enough money, his entire fortune, because you have free advertisement via local news. Springfield, Ohio had an invasion, 1/4 of their population coming into their cities, into their schools. What are you going to do about it? The news media.
I hope it doesn't look like Morocco going to Spain.
Yeah. But the news media doesn't interview the residents that are concerned. It doesn't talk to them. It talks about them, but doesn't talk to them. But it does talk to the Haitians that have come over here. They have organizations. And if you dig deep into it, you're going to see there's a lot of capitalists out there that can get some, free labor or room and board. And, our governor here in the state of Ohio was talking about how all of this influx, Haitian influx, has been so good for the community, so good for business. Look at all the positives.
Wait, did you see the dollar bill sticking out of his coat pocket?
No, I did not. I'll have to look closely next time that happens. I
think that has something to do with it.
DSA, Democrat Socialists of America, co-chair explains that it will abolish borders, defund the Pentagon, and destroy the Constitution. We're fighting in the streets with our children at our feet. I'll tip my hat to the new Constitution, take a bow for the new revolution. Woo! Mike Lee sounds the alarm after stunning polls from Senate race in Texas. Have we talked about that at all here on? Yeah, we have. There's a Democrat there that is going to be the next senator from the state of Texas. The Republicans are not going to hold the Senate, folks, and likely not going to have any kind of leverage in the House. We're going to have 2 years of political hell where reality dies. We're going to have everything. We're going to be impeaching the president of the United States for the next 2 years, maybe, if he puts up with it. Here's a possibility. Here is something that may help. Bill Maher, you know who he is, right? Liberal, Democrat.
Yeah.
Ends anti-communist rant by saying he'd vote for Sarah Palin over a DSA-aligned Democrat. If we get more of that out there, then we got a possibility, okay?
Oh, where is she now?
I don't know. So I guess she's been divorced, right?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
That was a rumor. Another natural family.
Report. Rochester, Minnesota woman convicted of insulting Somali rapist. Rochester, Minnesota woman convicted of insulting Somali rapist whose charges were dropped. Islamist slams car into Berlin Pride Festival. Gay community rallies around Muslims. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And
here's strange things, isn't it?
Here's one from Mr. Anderson. Tucker Carlson calls for treason trial for President Trump. And here is one of the problems we have in America, folks. A brewery owner offered free beer when Trump dies now says his alcohol permit was been revoked. Oh, America, what a country. What a country. We have a guest coming up in the second hour. Folks, we need to learn how to talk to folks to get them to do the right thing, whether it be with their families, whether it be voting. But you can't talk to them. You just can't talk to them, but you can. You can. We're going to talk about the Socratic method. And I've got a video we're going to play. It's about 5 minutes long before we bring Tom on, which will give you some idea of what we're talking about. And Tom will go into greater detail and explain to you what's happening. But this is not the only method you can use. But if you start with this and then you start doing your research, which I have done a little bit, you're going to find out there's other methods that can help as well. But starting with the Socratic method, I think, is one of the best ways that we can do that. So we're going to bring Tom on. I'm going to start with my 2-minute warning, which is 5 minutes long.
Imagine a teacher who never gives answers, a teacher who never delivers long lectures, who never tells his students what to believe. Instead, he simply asks questions, and through those questions, he slowly leads people to discover the truth for themselves. This was the revolutionary teaching style of Socrates, a method that later became known as the Socratic method. In the busy streets of Athens, in crowded marketplaces, and in public squares, Socrates would walk up to people and start conversations. He spoke with politicians, soldiers, craftsmen, poets, and young students, and the conversation almost always began with a simple question. But those simple questions had extraordinary power, because Socrates believed something very important. People often believe they know the truth without ever examining their beliefs, so he began questioning them. Not to defeat them, not to insult them, but to help them think more deeply. Through calm conversation and careful questioning, he slowly revealed the weaknesses inside an idea. Let us look at 3 examples of how Socrates used questioning. Example 1. What is courage? Imagine Socrates speaking with a soldier. Socrates might ask calmly, "Tell me, what is courage?" The soldier might reply confidently, "Courage means never running away from battle." Socrates would nod, and then gently ask another question. But what if a soldier stays in battle, even when the situation is hopeless, and everyone dies unnecessarily? He pauses, then continues. Would that still be courage, or would it be foolishness? The soldier begins to think. Perhaps courage is not simply staying in battle. Perhaps courage also requires wisdom and judgment. Example 2. What is justice? Now imagine Socrates speaking with a politician. Socrates asks, "What is justice?" The politician replies, "Justice means obeying the law of the city." Socrates listens carefully and then asks another question. But what if a law is unfair? He continues slowly. If a ruler creates a bad law and people obey it, is that still justice? The politician hesitates. The simple answer suddenly becomes more complicated. Example 3. What is success? Now imagine Socrates speaking with a wealthy merchant. Socrates asks, "What does it mean to be successful?" The merchant answers proudly, "Success means having wealth and power." Socrates smiles slightly and asks, "But if a person becomes rich by cheating others, is that still success?" He pauses. Or is true success living a life that is good and honorable? The merchant begins to reconsider. Perhaps success is not only about money. Perhaps it is about character. This was the true power of the Socratic method. Socrates did not force people to accept his ideas. Instead, he helped them examine their own thinking. Step by step, question by question, people began to see the limits of their knowledge. And this realization led to one of Socrates' most famous statements, "I know that I know nothing." For Socrates, this was not weakness. It was the first step toward wisdom. Because once we admit that we do not know everything, we become ready to learn, question, and grow. Many young people in Athens were fascinated by this extraordinary way of thinking. One of them was Plato, who later recorded many of these conversations and preserved the teachings of Socrates. Through Plato's writings, the Socratic method would influence generations of thinkers, including Aristotle, and eventually shape philosophy, education, and science across the world. But Socrates' method did something even deeper. It pushed people toward a powerful realization. Before trying to understand the world, a person must first understand themselves. This idea was captured in a famous phrase from ancient Greece, "Know thyself." And for Socrates, the simple command contained one of the deepest truths about human life. But what does it really mean to know yourself?
Keeping you informed. This is Last Call with BJ Edwards.
Two is better than one. I had stated earlier on the program, the EPA, the Edwards positive approach. It's because we're so negative about everything. Don't attack the opposition's idea, come up with a better solution on the same subject. Okay, not necessarily a bad idea, but we need to fill in the blank here. How do we come up with a better solution? How do we do that? I'm going to bring Tom down. Can you make us equal in terms of picture, Mr. Anderson, at least? There you go. Thank you. Tom Andrews, welcome to Last Call, sir.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Tom is married, 44 years, 2 children, 1 grandchild. Tom originally started out his life voting for Democrats.
Yeah.
As a family always did. President Reagan changed that, and he's been a Republican ever since. Mr. Andrews was elected to the Big Walnut Local School Board here in Sunbury, Ohio in 2000, and is currently the president of Westerville Tea Party. Folks, welcome Mr. Tom Andrews to Last Call. Tom, it's good to have you here, brother. It really is. I ran across you at a Tea Party meeting, which I've been going to for years. Yeah, the Tea Party still exists out there, folks. It still exists. And we are doers. We are doers. So Tom, nobody else wanted the job, ended up being president of the local Tea Party here. And he started introducing the idea of Socratic. And it's like, what? That's old stuff. We've evolved from that, Tom. Come on. Let's get into the 21st century, 22nd century, 23rd century. We can't be stuck in the past, but can we be stuck in the past, Tom?
We sure can, Jim. And I'll use the
BJ.
Constitution as some evidence there.
Constitution. We're getting rid of that. We're getting rid of that.
The Constitution of the United States. You always hear out there people talking about it should be a living document, change with the times. I'm telling you, free speech doesn't change with the times. We have the internet, we have television, radio, all kinds of things that they didn't have back in 1787. But free speech today is still the same as it was back then. It doesn't change. And neither does getting along with people when you try to talk to them.
Well, just telling them the truth will take care of that, right?
Well, it should, but it doesn't always, because they may not accept your truth. They have their own version of the truth. You have to make them understand that their version may not be true. Let them come to the reality.
Okay. Okay. You had mentioned you were on the school board, and I attended school board meetings for 10 years. What was that like? And did you use a Socratic method there, or were you aware of it at the time?
I wasn't aware of it at the time. What I tried to do there was, I was the newest person on the school board after the election. So I just tried to fit in and don't take over. Don't show them how ignorant you are. Just sit back and learn and learn and learn. But the biggest thing that was going on back then, if I remember right, is what were we going to teach to the students at the Big Walnut School District? Were we going to teach evolution, or were we going to teach creation?
Wow.
And that got heated a little bit,
I'm surprised it even came up. Go ahead.
Yeah, the parents would come in and they would say and give us their opinion, and it was never a soft opinion. It was always at a loud volume, we want this. So the way that the superintendent handled it, though, was extremely good, extremely good. I can't believe she came up with that. And as the school board, we enforced it. She said she was going to teach both methods. And if the parents were teaching their child evolution and we taught them creation, and the child went home and started asking questions, well, who better to talk to the child about those and answer those questions, right? We didn't, like today, they want to indoctrinate the students. Back then we said, no, we're going to teach them both things. Let the parents help them figure out which is right for them. And it did. It worked out really well.
Yeah, it's today's school environment is you're going to teach evolution, and you say to the child, but don't tell your parents.
Yes, they do. Unfortunately, that's really a shame.
They won't really understand you.
And it's our tax dollars that are paying for that, right?
Yeah. Okay. Socratic method. What makes that so special?
Well, if you use it properly, and I like the way that you said it takes some practice, and that's what we're doing at the Tea Party meetings. You can read the 4 or 5 questions to ask, and you can use them. But if you don't practice it, you'll probably still trip over your tongue at times, But that's the thing. The beauty of it is you're not fighting. You can leave the discussion, turn away and walk away, still friends, still relatives, and still at peace with each other. Usually what happens is we start yelling at each other. We may even start pushing each other, but we turn around and leave, not friends anymore, not even relatives anymore, And we have to quit that. Our situation in the United States today is so bad, so bad. The Trump derangement syndrome is one thing, and you have to get by that and over that to talk to somebody. But once you do that, you still can't talk to them. Their idea is right, and it's the only idea.
Yeah.
Well, have you thought of this? And you go into the Socratic method. One thing I will say before I forget to say it about the Socratic method is you must get them on defense. Just like in sports, you can't score when you're on defense. The Socratic method, you can't score if you're on defense. Ask them a question and get them to be on defense and defend their viewpoint and their beliefs.
Folks, from the almost the day of your birth, but from the beginning, you are asked questions and you're expected to give an answer. It's pressure. When you go to school, what happens with the teachers? They ask you questions, right? They teach you, but then they ask you questions.
Right.
They even do that formally. I think they call them tests. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think maybe they don't give tests anymore. Okay, I mean, making a bad assumption here, but I was in sales for decades, and what I learned is when I couldn't answer a question, or there was a situation there that looked like it was unresolvable, I would always ask a question. And here's what happens. Once you're asked a question, what? See, when I said what, you're going, what do you mean? What? You want to respond to that. I can't say that term, but anyway, I have to answer that question. I'm going to go crazy if I don't answer that question. But you have to ask the question. Now you're going to get maybe a defensive answer or whatever, but that puts them back on their heels. I can guarantee you when you ask somebody a question, they cannot not think to answer it. They just can't. It's the way you're brought up. No matter where you're brought up, it's the way you're brought up. So that asking a question is key. And the Socratic method puts that in a formal presentation of 5 questions that can help you win any argument, win in any conversation. You're not accusing anybody of something. You're just asking them, in essence, for clarification. I'm kind of spoiling it. Go ahead, Tom. Five aspects, the 5 Socratic questions that you need to ask.
What are they? Well, let's get them out here. The Socratic method has 5 questions, as you stated. The first one, to get them really thinking, is, what do you mean by that? Somebody said to me the other day at an event that I was at that he hated Trump. And I said, well, why? What do you mean by that? And the first thing that he said was, well, he lies. And I said, I was going to give him that because I was going to go further into the discussion, so I'll give him one to start with. And I said, well, he exaggerates a lot, which you might think is a lie, but I'll give you that. Then I said, what else? What else do you mean by that? And he said, he's over there in Iran without having a declaration of war, and he's not allowed to do that. And he said, a declaration of war? You mean like they had no declaration of war in Korea, none in Vietnam, none in Iraq, and none in Afghanistan? Is that the declaration of war that you're talking about? He looked at me as if I didn't know all that. And then, of course, for the rest of the evening that we spent together, there was no more talk about politics. I think he understood that maybe there was some things wrong about his way of thinking. So that's an excellent question to start with. What do you mean by that? Or a variation would be, is that what you really mean? Number 2, how did you come to believe that? And that tells the questioner, you, if the source of their information is a bad source, a source that can't be depended on, now let's go further into this. Who taught or told you that would be a variation. Where did you get or hear that is another variation. Number 3 would be, what if your info is wrong? Could your info be wrong? The variation of that would be, would you change your position if you found out that your information was wrong? Now, keep that question in mind, because question 4 is pretty much the same thing. And depending on how they answer these 2 questions, you might just decide, I'm going to terminate the conversation because I'm not getting anywhere here. I'm moving on to the next one. Number 4 would be, what might someone with a different idea say to you? Variation, are you willing to consider a different idea about your information? So there, if they answer no to either of those 2 questions, then it's a hopeless conversation. Move on, wish them a nice day. But you're still, the beauty of it though, Jim, you see, you're still saying goodbye as friends. You haven't upset them. You haven't said anything to make them mad. They haven't decided that they don't want to be friends with you anymore. It all ended peacefully, and that's the thing to keep doing, because you may have another chance in the future to change their thinking. Question 5, sometimes I get to this and sometimes I don't. Usually I know who I'm talking to before this one, but question 5 is, what could happen to our city or state or country if we all accepted your info and believed the way that you do? I don't like to ask that one either, if I even get to that point, because that could be a 15-minute answer there with 3 different answers inside their one answer. I don't want to get them confused, in other words.
Mm-hmm.
So, and get them on defense. Get them on defense before you. That first question might be the one to get them on defense.
Well, any question will. Any question puts somebody on defense. Anytime you ask a question, whoa. I mean, come on, you get those sales calls all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The way they started out, they ask you a question.
Right. That's what I did.
Are you on Medicare? Or are you looking for a car?
Mm-hmm. What kind of car?
Yeah.
Who's got your plan? That kind of thing for the Medicare. Yeah. Questions. That's the thing about the Socratic method. It's 25 years old, but it's still used today. all over the place, all over in education, in politics, in business and sales. It's everywhere. And it's the basics of really being a success at what you're doing. One other thing that I wanted to bring up, and this happens a lot, when you ask that first question, sometimes I think they know that you're trying to bait them into something, and they turn around and say, well, what do you think? Before they give you an answer, well, what do you think? How do you handle that? Well, I handle that all the time by saying, I want knowledge, and I love knowledge. Yes. And I think you're a smart person, and I want to know what you think. Ooh. What do you think? Ask them the question again.
Yeah.
And that usually gets them back on defense.
Yeah. I didn't ask you because I think you're a fool. I asked you because I respect your opinion.
Another way to say it, I respect your opinion. Oh, beautiful line. Beautiful line. Yeah.
And it's learning to, I know we are so spoiled rotten. We say something and we expect something, immediate response to that. Mm-hmm. I just, boom, I expect that right now.
Right.
And you kind of put a pause on the situation when you start asking the question, and then you ask for clarification. That's what you're doing. You ask the question, they make a statement, and then you clarify that.
That's right. Words,
this is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm hearing you say. Am I correct? No, not. Am I correct?
Right.
It's on me, not you. No pressure at all on me.
Right.
So where do we go from there? They made the statement, and you've got a little ground gain. What do you do next?
Well, the clarification question is very good to let them know that you understand how they feel and what they think. But if it's a mistake, what they told you is a mistake, and it is, like the guy with the declaration of war in Iran, then you bring out what like Socrates did in these 3 examples that were in the video. I think we have another video today to show people what happens when somebody knows how to use this method and people ask them questions. It's a tremendously powerful video. You can see exactly how it works. But that's the next thing. Clarify, make sure you let them know you understood what they said and what they believe and how they feel. And then go on to the next question in the method. Where did you get that information?
Yeah, you spoke of a video, and we're going to take a break. So, Mr. Anderson, go ahead and hit the break button, and also that. I'll tell you what. I'll hit the button for that the video he's talking about, and then you can do the break after that. That'll work for them. Here we go.
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean?
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean, certainly you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Left wing, this and that, right wing. I mean, it's that type of ideological spectrum.
I never really talk about left or right.
Anyways, a lot of people
don't really believe in that.
Okay, a lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but
like who?
I don't know who, but
well, you're the one who asked the question, so you must know somebody.
Okay, I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
what are you
also
talking about? What page? What page? Can you give me a page? Give me the page. You keep saying
in terms of turning things quite dramatically in terms of Trudeau and the left wing and all of this. I mean, you make quite a it's quite a play that you make on it. So I'm
not
just
sure.
wondering.
I don't know what your question is.
Then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Common sense. Okay. Common sense for a change. We're going to make common sense common in this country. We don't have any common sense in the current government. The guy prints $600 billion, grows our money supply by 32% in 3 years. That's growing the money 8 times faster than the economy. No wonder we have the worst inflation in 4 decades. I'm going to cap spending, cut waste, so that we can balance the budget and bring down inflation and interest rates. You'll want to be able to pay your mortgage again? You want to be able to afford rent? then you have to vote for Pierre Poilievre, because I'm the only one with a common sense plan that will bring back the buying power of your paycheck.
Last Call with BJ Edwards. Real talk about real life.
I'm sorry.
You can have fun with this, folks.
I have to laugh every time I see that video, that poor reporter. But you know what? That reporter did not get to print the story that he wanted to print. He wanted the gotcha questions, right? And he didn't answer not one gotcha question. The only thing that he answered was what he wanted the reporter to know. And that's what you can do with the Socratic method if you know how to use it.
Yep.
The guy was beautiful. And he lost the election, by the way.
Yeah, of course. Jeff, did you want in? Thumbs up if you do. I say, was that yes or no, sir? Okay. I'll bring him in. No, guess not. I got him, Kevin. Go ahead.
I was just sitting here stuffing the pie hole and listening.
Oh.
I'm trying to learn something, because every time I get out there and talk to them Democrats in the street, the God haters, they just go vile. I mean, go vile. And I look at them and I just say, where's the love? And they just get even madder.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And again, that makes me sad that we can't even talk to other Americans. If we can't talk to each other, how are we going to learn anything? How are we going to move forward at all in this society? I agree with you. But yeah, if you ask them what they think, and then they're going to tell you Trump's bad, can't stand him, all those kind of things. And then you just keep asking the questions in the Socratic method. Well, why do you feel that way? Yeah. Where did you get the information? Could your info be wrong? I mean, just keep going with the questions. And you look like a smart, handsome guy. So I think you're going to be able to get them to say, you know what, you might have a point there. Even if you don't get them to say it, you're turning around. They're turning around. You're walking away still friends.
Yep. Well, I did a couple years, 2-3 years up on the public square every Saturday. These Democrats have been up there since Trump first got elected.
Yeah.
Before he got elected. They have been there every Saturday for 10 years.
This is in Mount Vernon, Ohio, folks.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
They don't miss a Saturday. Usually 10, 15 of them with signs of everything from oil to war to whatever. Muslims, they're our neighbors, blah, blah. I've had a couple good conversations with a couple of the older guys that are 65, 70. They don't get so vile. But the women, oh my goodness, they are they hate me. They cuss me.
Really?
But they're led by a woman. The woman that's leading this whole group that organizes it, her name is Joan. She is the evolutionary professor at the far left liberal Kenyon College here in Ohio.
Oh boy.
It is demonic. And they love her. They do whatever she says, whatever she wants. She even wrote a book on how to have sex with aliens, and she's proud of that.
See, now that's good. Can I ask you, have you ever met an alien? Is that what your question was to her when you found that out?
No, that one. But here's what I do say to her. I stand beside her because she won't talk to me. She won't say one word.
There you go. There you go.
So I get to talk to her, and I'm nice to her. I stand right beside her. I said, Joan, one of these days we're going to have to meet Jesus. What are you going to say to Jesus when you meet him? I said, he's real. And I just tell her she needs to get saved. She needs to be born again, stuff like that. But one day I asked her, I said, okay, Joan, I got a question for you. Because they're all about abortion. They love abortion. I said, let me ask this question. I said, you wrote that book on how to have sex with aliens. So if an alien gets pregnant, do they get abortions? Oh my goodness, the look on her face, she lost it. She was just so mad, but she still didn't say one word. It was funny.
Yeah. You know what might be a good idea there is if you get one of her followers and pull them aside and get them through the Socratic method, because they may not be as vile as she is,
Good point.
And then they're going to go back and ask her the same questions you asked them.
Look for the weak point. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go, Jeff. Next task taken care of, buddy.
Jeff, is that morning dessert or cereal? What are you eating there? Oh, he's got his mic off.
Yeah, he's muted. All right, Jeff. Thank you. Thank you. So I want to get back to the Socratic method, but Westerville Tea Party.
Mm-hmm.
What piqued your interest in them, and what are your goals?
Well, the thing that piqued my interest in them is that you and I met at a thing that Glenn Beck started, the 912.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Remember that?
Woo!
And first day I went in there, I said, "What's 912? What's so big? Why do you call yourselves that?" And somebody said, "It's the day after 9/11, when we were all Americans again and all on the same side. We're trying to get back to that feeling of being all on the same side as Americans, all going for the same thing, a better America. And we're going to work together to see how we're going to get there." So that's what piqued me to get in. But then the 912 party, group sort of went down the tubes. Then I went to the Westerville Tea Party where I met Sue Ellen. And unfortunately, as you know, she passed away. And nobody stepped up. But before she died, Sue Ellen asked me if I would do it. And I said, no, I got too many other things going on. I'd love to, but I just don't have the time.
Yep.
And she said, she didn't say anything, but I saw the look on her face and so disappointed. Now, and this bugs me. I never got to tell her that I would do it before she passed away. It was hard to find her. Sometimes she was in hospice, sometimes she was in the hospital, sometimes she was at home. You never knew where she was, So I never really saw her after that time she asked me to do it. So we had a couple of meetings, as you know, after she passed away. And I thought, well, this may not be so hard. Well, that was an understatement. It is hard, but I like doing it because I can see progress. Our goal at the Tea Party is, well, first of all, what we believe is action without education is probably a waste of the effort. And education without action is probably a waste of the knowledge.
Yes, sir.
So we want to have action and education together in one little handshake. And with that in mind, our goal is to inform and inspire each other to take action. So what I found, Jim, when I first started with the Tea Party, you weren't in this group, but you're pretty intelligent about politics and life in general. That's why I like you. But I found that most people didn't even know who their Ohio representative was or their Ohio senator.
Oh, get realistic. Come on, Tom.
Telling you, Jim.
Wait a minute. We have at least 23% of the populace voting. Come on. I mean, that alone should tell you they know who the representatives are.
And that's a record. That's a record percentage right there, isn't it? It's normally around 9 or 10.
Yeah.
But no, I found that out and I couldn't believe it, because if you don't know that, then how are you ever going to communicate to anybody that has the power to change things how you feel about something or what you would like to see done? Who are you going to tell that to? If you just tell me or Jim or anybody else, any of your other friends or family, all you're doing is complaining, and eventually they get tired of hearing you complain. Oh, here he comes again. Let's turn the TV on and pretend we're watching something so he doesn't start a conversation about something. But so that's the first thing. Get them to know who they need to talk to. And then from there, getting them to do it. It's real easy. You can just email them. You can call them. You can leave a voicemail for them. You can send them a letter. You can put something on their website. All kinds of ways to do it. And you don't even really have to talk to them. It's better if you do. But the more times they hear from their constituents, the more importance they put into your feelings and what you mentioned to them. So definitely something we got to change. Definitely. Now, the young people will do it. They'll get out there and walk from house to house. They'll make phone calls. They'll do the postcards. They'll put things on the door. But they have the energy, and the problem is they've been indoctrinated. So most of the young people are working for the other side.
Amen. Amen. It's interesting. We had a video from Charlie Kirk, and one of the things that Charlie Kirk did a lot was ask questions.
Ask questions. Yes, he did. He was great at it.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I mean, he would ask questions, and then this is very important. Shut up. I know. That's against your nature.
It's hard to do.
Yeah. No, what you're really trying to say is this. Well, no, you really mean that. No. Shut up and ask the question.
Right.
And then don't do what the other person does. Don't feel forced to make a response. That's their job, not yours. That's their job. Right. Let them answer the doggone question.
I learned a lot from Charlie Jim by just watching him do this when he had those little things on the college campus. And I learned to tell by the look on the student's face, just when they realized I'm not making any sense here. Yeah. I think I'm wrong on this. You could tell that he got through to him. It was very interesting to watch some of those videos.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't predicate or preface it with, okay, I'm going to ask you a question, but I want you to know something. You're going to make a fool out of yourself. And I'm going to go ahead and ask the question.
No.
Then I'm going to let you go ahead and make a fool out of yourself.
No, he did not. They always went into it very confidently, but the more questions he asked, again, you could tell the look on the face when they thought, wow, he's really making a point here. You could just tell. It was really funny.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, I got a couple more questions for you. One is going to be what you think about the youth. You mentioned young people earlier. Mm-hmm. We've had a few at the Tea Party meetings, and I'll be honest with you. Well, I'll wait till you take the break, and then I'll give you my comment about that.
All right.
B.J. Edwards, along with Mr. Anderson. Folks, if this is your last call, why don't you tell your friends about us? Huh?
Last call with B.J. Edwards. Real talk about real life.
And you know what? When you practice the Socratic method, you learn a lot
about yourself. Yes, you do.
You really do, and about life.
Yeah,
you have an assumption about what this individual is thinking, but until they confirm that, you're in trouble.
Yep.
Because you're going to make statements based upon your assumption. You fill that out. You're going to make decisions based upon that.
Yeah.
And they could get you in trouble. So be careful with it. And the youth is just, I've been very impressed with the youth. I was at a meeting Tuesday night. A young gentleman was conducting it. And he was at our Tea Party meeting. And we've had some other young folks come in. And I've been very impressed with them. Number one, how public schools, well, some of them are homeschooled, so that maybe is an ingenuous statement, but how aware they are of things and how upset they are, by the way, with what this nation's doing. Is that what you're finding?
I am finding some of that. I still don't think we're there where we want to be or need to be with the youth. But the thing that really impresses me is I'm a big sports fan. And when somebody wins the championship or the game, they're on after the game interview, well, what'd you think out there? How did you win this game? They don't answer that. They answer first, before I answer your question, I just want to thank my God and Savior, Jesus Christ, for helping me and helping our team get through this and giving us the strength that we needed to win this game. They're wearing the cross. So I'm thinking morals is a big part of the youth. There's a lot of youth that didn't learn any morals in school. They don't teach them that hardly anymore. And
No. They teach morals.
They do? Okay.
Yeah, but they don't. They're morals.
That's true. There we go. I was going to say, I haven't seen them, Jim. Yeah, you're right. It's their morals. That's right. It's indoctrinated in the teacher's morals. And that normally goes along with the teachers' union. So we can probably write those off. But I am impressed with that in the sports world. In the regular world, again, it's a lot up to the parents. I mean, if the parents have common sense, they won't go with 12 genders. You know, they won't go with other things that they're taught on how to get along with people, and they'll teach them the right stuff. And but the parents are busy. It takes both now in society to own a house, have the American dream, live a comfortable life, have a good job. It takes two. So now, if you have a babysitter involved, what do they think? What are they teaching my kids about morals and what's right and wrong? You know, so it's a challenge out there. You and I didn't have to go through all that with our kids, and I can tell you probably, I know my kids are. They've got morals, and they're both successful, and I'm sure your kids are too. You know,
I have a was that a Socratic question you just asked?
Get you started. I'm getting you on defense, Jim.
Speaking of which, let me practice a little bit here. What do you think about the current political climate in Ohio and in the nation?
Oh boy. You know, that's, again, I'm really sad about that. And the big thing is we can't talk to each other. That's number one. Number two, even if something gets out on the news, the mainstream press, which is what most people listen to, never really talks about it or doesn't really give you the actual facts of what happened. As a for instance, Anthony Fauci, Dr. Funky, was being interviewed by the Senate Ways and Means, the Oversight Committee, the other day, and they asked him questions like, what color is your tie? What color is the floor in front of you? You know, what day is it? And he wouldn't even answer those questions, right? So you can bet that his attorney said, don't go in there, don't answer anything, because if you do, you might incriminate yourself. But the problem is he's already been given a pardon. So what was he afraid of? What we're trying, this is a guy that controlled the whole pandemic situation. We're trying to learn something from him so we don't make the same mistakes in the next one. And he won't even give us the answers. You know, for somebody like that, I say take the pension away. You're not going to get the Senate to put him in jail. That's not going to work. So take his pension away. Do some things that will wake him up, and then invite him back in and see what he has to say, realizing that he still has his pardon, you know. So well, the whole political scene is we're at each other's throats. We just have to learn how to talk to each other for the betterment of the country, the state, the county and city that you live in, and for all the people that you live with. We have to learn how to talk to each other again.
Yeah, amen. I think with regards to Fauci, I'm not a lawyer, and I don't think our lawyer is on right now. And no, he's not.
It's not me. Yeah, you're right.
If you answer one question, I think they can nail you. If you don't use the fifth on every question,
that's
you
true.
answer one, then they'll go after you. Okay, so he's going to say that, and they know he's going to say that.
Right.
Fauci, and also there's a difference. He's okay at the federal level, but when it comes to the state level, there's no pardon there.
That's right.
He can be taken to the state, etc. So I can understand and actually appreciate what he's doing. Both sides there were really. I'm not really happy with it, with both sides.
Yeah. Well, the AG in Florida has started the proceedings to check into whether he has violated any Florida laws. And that's the only way you're going to get him on a state level. So depending on what they find, he may have to. He's not out of this yet. He's not out of it. It's not done yet, but it doesn't look very good for accountability's sake.
Well, you have the court of public opinion.
Right.
And even if he goes to trial, you still have to deal with that. The one thing that really impressed me when I went to a trial and I was on the jury is the assumptive that the jury makes before that individual ever goes in for trial.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in this case, it would work to our favor with regards to Fauci. However, they do make exceptions on certain things. But I knew that this group, regardless of what both sides would say, the defense and then the attorneys that are going against him, they were going to find this guy guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in America, it is your guilty until you can, beyond a reasonable doubt, prove your innocence.
That's right.
And there's always a question.
Well, that shouldn't be the way it is. The Constitution says you're innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly.
But you're right. You're right. That's what the jury thinks. And you can tell, and that's a perfect statement that you said. You knew what was happening with both sides as soon as the thing started. I could only watch it for about 10 minutes. And then I thought, you can tell what the Republicans are doing. They're trying to catch him, and he's not going to answer anything, nothing. And then the Democrats, everything was Trump's fault. He didn't do anything wrong. Everything was Trump's fault. So where are you going to go with this? It's not going to be productive or fruitful at all.
Who do you think was the biggest winner in that?
Actually, I'd have to say Anthony Fauci was the biggest winner.
I agree. I agree, because it gave a platform for Democrats to once again, like you said, accuse Trump. Here's yet another example of Donald Trump being king and wanting everybody to do his bidding, or however they phrase that. I saw the introduction by the chairman, and then the co-chairman, and one Republican, one Democrat, and they didn't talk about Fauci at all. Nope. They talked about, we're wasting our time, which they did in this committee, interviewing Anthony Fauci.
Right.
We have better things to do, better places to go. And that is, I have to agree with that.
I do too. You mean like passing the SAVE Act? Better things to do? No, you're going on vacation for 6 weeks now, right? Before the election. Yeah.
And this gotcha. There's a channel that I don't particularly care for anymore that is doing the gotcha. Well, we got him. He didn't do that. He got nothing. Right. You got nothing. You're not changing anybody's mind other than telling folks like me
not to watch you anymore.
Yes, exactly. You're boring me. You're like, get into reality, folks. Really?
Right.
Really?
Right.
This program, or this channel I'm talking about, finally admitted, at least one of their guests admitted, that we're not talking about socialism, we're talking about communism. And when you use the term socialism, it's like homosexual. Oh, yeah, that's so innocent. That is so innocent. I mean, how could anybody be against somebody that's homosexual? Oh, it's just, how could you possibly?
Right.
Yeah. Now, sodomy, different story. Okay.
That brings on some mental pictures. Yes. Don't go there, Jim. Can I bring up something here that I hope your listeners would do?
Go for it.
And all of us would do before the election happens. And it's a way to get a question asked like Socrates would do. And then you be ready with the follow-up questions, depending on their answer. But the question that I would like people to ask is, are you going to vote? Ooh. Now, if you really want it to be productive, go talk to your friends that you know and your family people and workers, co-workers and things like that, that you know are probably leaning Republican, at least leaning Republican, if you don't know that they really are Republican. And ask them that question, because without Trump on the ballot, without the zero property tax issue amendment on the ballot, we're going to be a little light in Ohio with who we have running, and that's John Husted. And we need to get him in the Senate, elected to the Senate. So ask people. Now, is he my favorite candidate? No, but he is the candidate, right? But ask the people, are you going to vote? Now, that gets them on defense. No. Well, why do you think that way? And just start down the list of questions until you get to the point where, I think I probably should. Or I don't have a ride. Okay, I'll pick you up. Don't worry. We'll get you there. I think if we can get a turnout at the ballot box, we can win. But if we get 8% of the people turn out to vote again, like they did in New York, and look what happened to them in New York City, look what they got as a result of not going to the ballot box. I don't want that in Ohio. So just try to use the Socratic method with that one question to people that you think are Republicans. If they're Democrats, Don't ask them. Don't encourage them to go vote. But the Republicans, yes.
Well, you know that the Democrats are already doing that.
Yeah. Oh,
they're
yeah.
busing. They're busing voters.
Yes.
Not car. They're busing groups of people.
That's right. And they're good at it. I mean, when it's an election, they want to win. They know how to do it. We just seem to say, let bygones be bygones, and it is what it is. You know, it's going to be what God wants it to be.
Yeah.
We can't change it. You know,
God makes these laws.
Yeah.
And if you break them, there's a price to pay.
Then I'm in trouble. That's right.
Yeah. That's part of it. And you've earned the right to get your rear end kicked. Okay. You've earned the right. Right here, you should have done this. You should have done that. You should have done that. Tom, I'll be honest with you. When I graduated from college and working and things like that, I didn't even up to them. I never voted. It's just a waste of time.
Right.
It's an absolute waste of time. And I'll be honest with you. A lot of the times I'm right. Okay. Unfortunately, a lot of the times I'm right. But I for some reason I just started voting, and then here's what happens. It's like follow the money. If you vote and you didn't get the results that you wanted to get, you've got two choices. Well, I'm not going to vote anymore. Well, I'm going to vote again, but I'm going to make darn sure this time I have something that is viable for me to vote for.
Right.
And that's what we need to do as Americans. Again, I always talk about being the Uber nation, where we expect everything to be handed to us, and we don't have to do anything. We don't have to work for this or work for that. And it'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Right.
And when confrontation, I don't want to do that, you know? And I don't want any part of that. And I don't have to.
Right.
I'm an American.
Right.
It's the pendulum's going to swing from here to there to here. It's always going to swing back and forth. However, that point that the pendulum is swinging on is moving.
Yeah.
It's not moving to the right.
It's
moving to the left.
That's right.
So when it swings, it never gets back to where it was before.
That's right.
And it keeps moving and moving. It's because we don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
We really, I don't know what the percentages are, but it's just ridiculous. It's not 50%. It's definitely well below that.
Well, when you graduated back in the mid 90s from college, it wasn't that
it almost
bad.
took me that long. Go ahead.
But it's progressing to the point that you just mentioned. A very good way to describe it, because you're right. All this indoctrination that my kids went through it, you know, and they're 37 and 39 years old right now. And yes, they were still being indoctrinated when they went to school. It wasn't really bad in Big Walnut because a lot of them are Republicans up there, but it's changed. A lot of people from Westerville have moved up there, and they brought their left-wing beliefs up there with them. And yes, the people on the school board, the teachers, the administrators, they have changed. It's now not what it was. So that's a perfect analogy about the swinging pendulum. It still swings, but it never comes back to where it was before. You know.
Quick break, Mr. Anderson. I'll get us started.
How to use the Socratic.
Keeping you informed. This is Last Call with BJ Edwards.
Go ahead, Mr. Anderson. I'll keep my hand off the keys. Or maybe not.
How to use the Socratic method. The Socratic method is a process of dialogue based on questioning that inspires critical thinking and analysis. Primarily, the method was designed for moral and philosophical inquiry, but the technique can be used in almost any discussion. It helps to structure constructive and even challenging conversations without descending into argument or pure rhetoric. Here are the 5 steps to follow to have a Socratic dialogue. Number 1. Receive. First, receive what the other person has to say. Listen to the other person's premise, view, or argument. And remember, you have to properly listen at this stage to be able to do the next step. 2. Reflect. Sum up the person's viewpoint or argument and reflect it back. Do this by first getting them to clarify and sum up their position, and then by paraphrasing or repeating it back to them. 3. Refine. Ask them to provide their evidence. Find out why they are thinking or acting in that way. Discover the facts, beliefs, or assumptions that underpin their standpoint. Often the premise will be based on assumptions rather than hard facts. Assumptions are fine, but challenge these assumptions to test their validity. Use further questions to uncover fallacy or any wrong presuppositions. You can often use why questions at this stage to help with this. 4. Restate. Now that you have refined your thinking, get them to reformulate and restate their position. If they see that they had a wrong assumption, get them to adapt or renew their wording and then restate it. 5. Repeat. Now they have a new viewpoint, you can go back to the start of the process. You can assess the new premise and challenge any further wrong assumptions in their thinking. This iterative or dialectic process helps to drill down to the core of the issue. This method becomes a cycle of dialogue. And that's it, simple. The question technique framework is easy to remember, and the skill comes in applying it. The challenge is to really listen to the other person and truly commit to coming to a better shared understanding of the issue. This may come through challenging assumptions or logical viewpoints, but the goal of the Socratic method is not about winning an argument. It is about finding understanding, knowledge, and truth. It's about getting to the heart of an idea. If you'd like more detail on this or similar subjects, then please do follow the links or head over to.
Folks, that's just a reminder. Tom, we're going to have about 5 minutes. Couple items. Number one, please follow us on Rumble. Tell your family, friends, and associates about this program, about our interview with Tom Andrews. This is one of the most, to me, it's one of the most important videos that you're ever going to see. The one we played with the Canadian is a good example. There's so many good examples today in terms of what we're talking about. So please, 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 this is, to me, it's so critically important that you share this with folks. We should have thousands and thousands and thousands of viewers on this one particular item, because this will help you turn things around. Instead of yelling at folks and throwing things at them, ask them questions.
Right.
It's so effective. Tom, got about 5 minutes. You want to head us out of the program?
Sure. Thank you, my friend. This method was so successful. I hate to give you this update on Socrates, but he would go around, as the video, one of the previous videos said, and he would talk to anybody in the square in Athens. And a lot of times they were politicians, and he would get them to say things that they really didn't want to say or admit to themselves that their thinking was wrong, their policies were wrong, that sort of thing. They had the man executed.
Yep.
They put him to death for that. And
they did that to another guy too that was telling the truth. Go ahead.
That's true. Yeah. The only one perfect man on earth ever. And we don't want that to happen again. Look how we treated him. Mm-hmm. So that's the first thing. The other thing I wanted to mention is, you've always heard me say, and the videos say, and Jim say, that you need to practice this. You can't just read the questions and then think, go out and use it, and I'm going to be great at it. You need to practice it like anything else. If you want to be a good tennis player, golfer, baseball player, whatever, you got to practice. Got to practice at it. Who can you practice with? Well, how about your spouse?
Oh,
when you
wait a minute, hold on.
I'm going to say it, Jim. I'm going to say it. When she comes to you and says, now you've already planned to play golf or tennis today. Mm-hmm. And when she comes to you and says, don't you think you should be out there cutting the grass? It's a nice day. What's going to be your response? Are you going to get mad at her? Are you going to make her mad at you? Or are you going to start using the Socratic method and say, what makes you think that? and then go on from there based on her answer, So there are ways to practice without, going out there and trying it right off the bat and then being defeated and not want to use it again,
Well, she could say, don't you trust me? Don't you trust what I'm saying? No,
right.
No. I do. I just want a little clarification.
There's so many things you can say to put them on the defense and get to go play golf or tennis or whatever, right? You can do it. You can do this. You just need a little bit of practice at it. So I did have one lady from the Tea Party after the first time I brought this up, and we do it at every meeting. We have a little bit of practice on this, our word 5, so that you can bring up political and defend Trump and the Republican Party and the MAGA movement in conversations. We practice it at every meeting, but I had one lady come up after the first week that we did it, or first month. Second month, she came up and said, "You know what? What? I practiced that on my husband and it didn't work." Now, I don't know what she said or what the issue was about. I didn't have time to go into it with her, but that person gave me the idea. Well, why not practice on your spouse? See if you can get them to see your point of view more clearly a lot of times, you know?
Well, I've got a problem. My spouse listens to this program. Now what?
That's right. That's right.
You know, I didn't ask you, what do you think about President Trump and the MAGA movement?
President Trump's doing a great job. I mean, just think about what he inherited. I mean, his first term was bad enough, but when he won the second time, he inherited 20 million people that have been let in that were illegal, and they were taking jobs away from Americans and making housing more expensive. And it's not just housing. They have to eat. They have to use electricity, use water, use natural gas, send their kids to school. Have you ever tried to get into the doctor for an appointment these days? I had a nosebleed, and I wanted to make sure it didn't relate to cancer. So I got worried about it, called an ear, nose, and throat specialist. And I said, I just have a nosebleed. I just need for him to 10, 15 minutes, look at me, calm me down, tell me that it isn't cancer. You just have too much dryness in your house. Get the humidifier going again. That's all I wanted. 3 months to get in to do that. And that's all caused by extra people in the system that we never allowed and invited here. It affects everything, 20 million people. So yeah, he, and I appreciate what he's doing now in Iran. I know most people don't because gas prices are higher, but there's a man who acts on principle, not whether his party is going to win the midterm elections. And that's why I respect him, and that's why I like him.
What makes you think he acts on principle?
Well, the principle is, if Iran was to get a hold of a nuke, let's say a tactical nuke in a briefcase, and bring it over here and set it at the Capitol building, just leave it there, get out of town, and then tomorrow that thing goes off in Washington, D.C., what do you think the gas prices are going to be then? What do you think the prices of anything are going to be then? And he knows that. So he's going after them to say, you can never have a nuclear weapon. We will not let that happen. And he's not the first president to say that. They've all said it since Reagan, all of them. But not one of them has had the cojones to do it. Sorry, am I allowed to say that?
I think so.
Maybe they don't understand Spanish, right? No.
I went to biology class and they never mentioned that. So go ahead.
Right. But he's the first one to do something about it. And it just so happened to be before an election. I hope it goes well for him. I hope that we don't hold that against him, but he has the courage to do that and act on what should be done, not whether it's going to win an election.
Somebody wants to learn more about the Socratic method. Other than going through this complete program today, there might be something we left behind. Where might they go to? Just do a Google search or?
Well, yeah, they can always go on YouTube. There's lots of videos. I see you pulled some up from YouTube. Go on there, get the 5 questions. Key. Yeah, that's the key. And come to the Tea Party meeting so you can practice with us.
Yep. What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
How did you come to believe that?
That's right.
What if your information is wrong? Could your information be wrong? What might someone with a different idea say? And what could happen to our city-state country if we all accepted your information?
Right.
Those are the 5 Socratic questions, variations therein, but that's fine. Tom Andrews, we appreciate you today. You know, I'm going to play. Who was the Canadian that was running for office? What was his name?
I'm not very good at French, but I'm going to say Pierre Poilievre.
Okay, I'm going to play that video again out of here because I think that is so telling.
You're going to make me laugh again in my coffee, aren't you?
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So, hey, I thank you for having me, my friend, and I'll see you at the next Tea Party meeting. How about that?
If not sooner. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Mr. Anderson, I'll go ahead and hit the button on it, and then you can complete it after it's done. Again, this is an example of how the Socratic method can work in real life. And this was a Canadian who was running for office.
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean?
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean, certainly you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Left wing, this and that, right wing. I mean, it's that type of ideological spectrum.
I never really talk about left or right.
Anyways, I don't
really believe in that.
Okay, a lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but
like who?
I don't know who, but
well, you're the one who asked the question, so yeah. You must know somebody.
Okay, I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
what are you
also
talking about? What page? What page? Can you give me a page? Give me the page. You keep saying
in terms of turning things quite dramatically in terms of Trudeau and the left wing and all of this. I mean, you make quite a it's quite a play that you make on it. So I'm
not sure. I don't know what your question is.
Then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Common sense. Okay. Common sense for a change. We're going to make common sense common in this country. We don't have any common sense in the current government. The guy prints $600 billion, grows our money supply by 32% in 3 years. That's growing the money 8 times faster than the economy. No wonder we have the worst inflation in 4 decades. I'm going to cap spending, cut waste, so that we can balance the budget and bring down inflation and interest rates. You'll want to be able to pay your mortgage again? You want to be able to afford rent? Then you have to vote for Pierre Poilievre, because I'm the only one with a common sense plan that will bring back the buying power of your paycheck.
Join us next week for Last Call with BJ Edwards.